It not only applies to food, it applies to life. Kiss. Keep it simple, silly. Today on Let's Cook. Hi, welcome to Let's Cook, where our theme today is keep it simple. And that's what we're doing. Our menu is very simple, but it's all great food. So let me just go over the menu right now. We are doing some mashed potatoes. Then we're doing braised chicken thigh, shepherd's pie. You'll love that. And then a roasted rosemary garlic chicken or garlic chicken. That's our menu today. Now, the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to actually make the mashed potatoes. So right here, I have my potatoes and they're boiling. And when you cook mashed potatoes and they're boiling, to test if they're done, the easiest way is to take a knife, put it into the potato, pick it up. When it comes out of the water, if it falls off, the potato's done. If it stays on the knife, then it's not really done. See, it's going to fall off. So these are ready to go. Now, the only thing I'm going to do with these right now is I'm just going to take these. I'll shut them off. And if you want really dry mashed potatoes, it's a very good idea to take these if you want to and put them in the oven for about 5 minutes to let them just dry out really well. But I cut these so large that they did not absorb that much water. They'll be fine there. Then I'll just take the pot. You know, you always want to, in the kitchen, you always want to be able to use a pot for a second thing. So I'll just get rid of my water here now. While the pot is still warm, into the pot now, I'm going to go ahead and add the butter that I'll be using to make the mashed potatoes. So we'll go ahead and put our butter right in here. The pan will be hot enough right now just to melt that butter. Then once the butter's melted, I'll add the heavy cream to that as well. While the butter's melting, we take our ricer right here, and you really do need a ricer to make mashed potatoes. And what we do with the ricer is we just put the potatoes in here, take them and force them through the ricer. What ends up happening when we do this is the potatoes themselves don't take on, the starch really doesn't develop in the potatoes so that they don't get all sticky and gluey. We don't want them to get all sticky and gluey. So you just take our potatoes, force them through the ricer here. If you don't have a ricer like this, they actually have plastic models too, but these just work out really, really well for making mashed potatoes. So let me get my potatoes. We'll get them all riced here. Doesn't take too long. Just take your time. And it's best if you do it while the potatoes are nice and hot. If you do them when they've cooled down quite a bit, they're a little harder to force through the ricer. So, a few more potatoes through here. This is about 2 pounds of potatoes that I'm using right now. So I have my potatoes to this. This is now good to go. I have my potatoes in here. Get all that. Then we just take this, put this on the side over here. We'll season this up with a little bit of salt, a little bit of heavy cream in here. Now, when I put in the heavy cream, I actually put the pan on to make sure that cream gets nice and hot. Then you could use white pepper, but I'm actually going to use some black pepper in here. I want to see that. And I'll just stir this around and dry up that heavy cream. So my mashed potatoes are good to go. Now, since I have to pipe these onto the top of the shepherd's pie, I also want them to cool down a little bit too. But so we heat it up, then we shut it off and let that cool down. Now, while that's cooling down, over here, it's a chicken thigh shepherd's pie. Right here, I have a chicken thigh. You can buy these in the supermarket. They're already boned out, just like this. They're very easy to work with. What we do here is we just take the meat, cut it down into thin strips like this. Now, if you do have, let's say you have some sinew right here that you want to get rid of, you can go ahead and just take this off. You don't have to put that in here. But this, the chicken thigh meat is going to give you a much better flavor than, let's say, a breast meat of chicken. Then we take this, and we're just going to dice this up. You want to dice this up nice and small. Now, if you have a grinder at home, you know, with your kitchen equipment, you could go ahead and grind this through on a coarse grinder grind, and that will work as well. So we take our thigh meat here. Now, I already have a bunch done right here. And I'll take this, and I'm going to season this up now with some salt, pepper, and a little bit of paprika. And then we toss that together. Well, I'm tossing that together. Going to heat the pan. A little bit of safflower oil here, just in the bottom of the pan. Then get my spoon over here, right here. Here we go. And we'll toss the chicken around here just to get all the seasonings mixed together. No flour or anything else in this. We're just going to season this with the salt, the pepper, the paprika. Mix this well. Then we're going to sear this or brown this off a little bit. So let your pan get nice and hot here. Then you take your meat, not all of it, just about this much right here. You don't want to overcrowd the pan because you do want to get a little color on this. And we're going to start to brown this off. Let me brown this off. I'll get this all browned off here. Then I have to add the vegetables, make the sauce for our shepherd's pie. Then my mashed potatoes cool down. We'll take a little break. When we come back, I'll show you how we put it all together. Don't go anywhere. It's Kiss today on Let's Cook. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are just keeping it simple. Now, we're doing a shepherd's pie, but it's a chicken thigh shepherd's pie, and I probably could have called it just a chicken shepherd's pie or a poultry shepherd's pie, but I decided since I'm using chicken thighs, and that's what we have browned up here, that's what I want to call it, chicken thigh shepherd's pie. Now, once I have my chicken meat browned up here with the paprika, and that helps to give it color, to this now I have a couple of bay leaves that I'm going to put in here. And also I'm going to add my mirepoix. That's my carrots, onions, and celery. And I'm just using this in equal quantity. So we put our carrots, onions, and celery in there. And we're going to saute this or just sweat this off until they start to change color. Once they start to change color, I'll go ahead and add my tomatoes to this as well, too. Actually, the tomatoes could have just gone in with the mirepoix there, but I don't want too much liquid in here because the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add some flour to this. The flour is going to be my thickening agent. So while it's still nice and warm, I'm just going to mix the flour in here to absorb any moisture that's present. And then what I do is I add my stock to this to make my sauce for the shepherd's pie. So I'll just go ahead and add my chicken stock here. Now, the chicken stock that I'm using, this is actually store-bought chicken stock, and you should be able to tell that by the color of it. So what I did is I diluted it with half water. That's because of the sodium that's present in it, and also a lot of times when I make things, I like to let them cook down a little bit. So we just take this, we mix this together like this until it comes up to a simmer. Now, once it's at a simmer, we're going to keep stirring this to cook off a little bit of that flour flavor. And I actually have one done here so I can show you what this looks like, where it looks just like this. And we let this cook a little bit. The flour flavor has totally cooked off of this now. We tasted it for seasoning, but doesn't this look great now? To make the shepherd's pie, it's so easy. I'm using a shallow porcelain dish here. Earthenware dish. Now here, I'm just going to go ahead, without any of the bay leaves, put my filling here in the bottom. Make sure you get some of that sauce in here. And again, this is, a great use of leftovers. So we just spread our chicken here. And also, by the way, the reason I call this Keep It Simple, this freezes really well. So you can take this, make a bunch of these. You can freeze one or two of them and freeze it without the potatoes. And then whenever you make mashed potatoes, or you can just make the mashed potatoes, put them right on top of it and bake it in the oven. Out of this world. So I have my filling there. I have my mashed potatoes here that have cooled down to a point where I can pipe them. Now I'm going to use a pastry bag. Whenever you use a pastry bag, the easiest way to do it is to take your hand this way, take the pastry bag, fold it over your hand this way. So my hand is underneath like this. Then with my hand right here, the major part of my hand right here, I can go ahead and just scoop the potatoes in and scrape them across this where I don't mess up the outside of the bag here. The easiest way to do it. So we'll just come here, get some more potatoes in here. Once it's full, like an ice cream cone, pick up the sides, stays nice and clean this way, and now we're ready to pipe. Make sure you get rid of any of the air. Now we'll go to our shepherd's pie right here. I'm going to come right here. pipe it across this way, and a little swirl. Then I'm going to come here as well, do the same thing here. I'm going to leave some of the chicken exposed here so you can actually see it. We'll come here, pipe this across. Then to finish this, we'll take, this is not in a recipe, by the way. I just decided to do this. I'm just going to take a little bit of butter here on top of each set of the mashed potatoes. We're going to pop this in the oven. Potatoes get golden brown. My shepherd's pie is done. Let me get this in the oven. We're going to take a little break. When we come back, we're talking rosemary, garlic, roasted chicken. Kiss. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are keeping it simple today. Now, there's nothing more simple than roasted chicken, but it's so delicious. So today, we're doing a rosemary garlic roasted chicken. Now, what I did with this chicken is I washed this chicken. I washed it on the inside. I washed it on the outside. I patted it dry. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to season it up. Now, when I season it, I'm going to take the inside cavity right here. I'm going to take some pepper in there. I'm going to take some salt in there. I'm going to put a clove of garlic in there, a piece of rosemary, or just a rose, pull the rosemary off, and some onion. Put that all right in there. So that's good to go. Next, we'll take our chicken here, and I'm going to make a cut right here, right just through the skin right there, so I can stick my finger right in there. Then I'll come on this side. I'll do the same thing here. Then using my thumb, I'm going to come up underneath the skin right here on both sides of the sternum. This is a sternum bone here, the backbone right there, right? Or the breastbone. Not the backbone, the breastbone. Just make a spot right there. So then I take a little piece of rosemary right here, some rosemary here on the inside there. Then I'll take a little bit more rosemary on this side here. We also take and put some rosemary in between the thigh and the breast right here. That's why we cut through the skin right here. We put a little bit here. We also put a little bit right there, some rosemary. Now, garlic. Have to do the garlic as well. So the garlic, take my cloves, and I'll just, a medium-sized clove, just split them in half. You can slice them thinner too if you'd like to, but about 3 of them here because I have 3 cuts. So I go once here, twice. I always count while I'm cooking too. Then we'll come up underneath with the garlic here, the garlic there, a little bit more garlic here, a little bit more garlic there. Then we'll season the outside now with some pepper, a little bit of salt here. Now, I like to tie my bird or truss a bird. So when I go to truss a bird, you can buy this butcher twine at your local supermarket. Usually it's in the baking aisle. So make it so that it's about a 4-foot length. Come here, make sure that onion's in there too. And also, it's a good idea if you want, you just put a little piece of lemon in here too. So we have all that flavoring on the inside cavity. Come right underneath here. Cross, spread your string so it's about halfway here. It's kind of like you think of skip rope here, double Dutch, because that's what we're going to do. Double Dutch the legs here, if that makes any sense. Pull them tight in. Come behind the chicken here, right where the joint of the wing is right here. Pull that tight. Come back underneath here. Come, the knob of the chicken right here. This is where the neck is right there. Actually, it's not the neck, it's the other end of the chicken, but I wanted to say neck because I did not want to say the other end because it's a cooking show. Then we pull this tight here. Now, let's keep it simple. So tie a little, pretend you're tying your shoe. Close this up right here. This is good to go, and you'll see why I did that when I take out the cooked chicken. So we have our chicken tied there, and it looks pretty. In my pan right here, what I've done is I've taken some sausage meat here, and I started to brown the sausage meat and just cook that off so I get a little bit of flavor here in the bottom of the pan. Now, to this, I'm going to put a couple of cloves of garlic in here. Along with that, I have some potatoes right here. And these are just diced Yukon Gold potatoes with the skin on, but you could use any kind of potato that you like. This goes right into the pan here, and we're just going to saute those potatoes ever so briefly Now we're ready to almost roast this. So you take your dish right here that you would roast the chicken in. You'll take your sausage, potatoes, a little bit of garlic here. Put this in the bottom of your dish. Add just 1 ladle of stock to this. Just 1 ladle of stock. Then I have some lemons here. I have 2 lemons here. I'm going to take about, most of those lemons right here, put them right in with the potatoes. Now, the other 3 lemons that I have right here, I'm going to season my chicken with them. So I'm just going to take that lemon juice right on top of the chicken there, along with some olive oil. Rub it ever so gently right here. Pop it right on top of the vegetables with the, the potatoes, with the sausage, with the garlic. You take this, I'm going to pop this in the oven right here. Da, 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 da. Then we have this one that is already done right here. And you can see how beautiful this looks, how nice and brown it got. Out of this world. Let's take a little break. Need to let this rest. When we come back, I'll show you how you can go ahead and serve this delicious garlic rosemary chicken. Plus, we have our shepherd's pie in the oven, too. Kiss. That's what we're doing. We'll be right back. Hi, welcome back to Let's Cook, where we are definitely keeping it simple today. Now, we have our garlic rosemary roasted chicken here, and we tied the chicken. So first thing I'm going to do is take the chicken and remove it from our vegetables there. Then we take our vegetables right here with the sausage, all of that, based on what you'd like to do. But what you can do is using a slotted spoon, just pick these up, put them right in there, out of this world. Now, the lemons you really won't want to eat, but the potatoes with the sausage, with the natural gravy is very good. Now, the sausage that I used happened to be very lean, so I'm really not too worried about the fat on top of this. However, if I was concerned about it, I thought it would be too fatty, what I would do is I would transfer this to another pan, cook it off till the fat got nice and clear and the flavor stuck to the bottom of the pan, and then I would deglaze that with a little chicken stock to make the gravy. Now, remember our bow, right? We've tied a little bow here. So this is what makes it really simple, because now we just take it like we're undoing shoes. You come over here. You see how nice and easy this comes apart. You're not tearing at the chicken. Comes right off here. So we have our chicken right here. You need to allow this to rest. You need to make sure you roast it to 165 degrees internal temperature. Now come here. Take the thigh off first, and you can see here where we just come right in here. I just want you to be able to see this here. The thigh bone is right there. Come right down here through that thigh bone. See how nice and easy that comes off. Make sure we leave the skin intact there. Put a little bit of that right here. Take the other one right here. You can hold it with your tongs this way, and you can actually just break it there too. Get this thigh off here. Beautiful. Leave the skin intact. Then on the inside here, if you just insert your knife right down the middle here, come out the other end, you can actually cut through the backbone here and just remove the backbone here. Get rid of that. We already got all the flavor out of that onion that we want to get. Come over here. Let's get the rest of our backbone off here. Come right down the middle here. Split this right on top here. This on top here. Then we take our sauce right here, right on top of the chicken. Out of this world. Now, last but not least, we're talking chicken thigh shepherd's pie. And again, you can make this with chicken thighs, but you could also make this with breast meat as well. You can make the stew. You can actually freeze it, and then when you're ready to make it, make some mashed potatoes, put it on top, just bake it in the oven. Out of this world. The most important thing when it comes to making great food is to keep it simple, and that's exactly what we did today. Very simple ingredients, simple cooking methods, great food that the whole family will love. Thank you for watching Let's Cook. You have a great day, and just remember, kiss Keep it simple, silly. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.